What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So I want to get into this. I want to break down the college football's weekend action of games, starting with Miami versus FSU Saturday night primetime. That was a great game if you're on the Miami side of it. But I tell you what, this Miami offense looks really confident, led by Derek King, that Houston transfer. That kid is the real deal. He is the identity of this offense. He's a great leader and, is elevating, the other guys around him. Brevin Jordan led off with one of the big touchdowns. I've talked about Jordan. He is a fantastic tight end. He's, right there is one of the best in the country. Another guy is right up there, too, that we're going to get to. But, weapons at the skill position. Miami's had, they've had good skill position players, but, this year I think is exceptional. And, Cameron Harris is, making noise as one of the best running backs in the country. And, finding a quarterback's huge. Miami hasn't really had a elite quarterback in a long time. And had some decent guys. Ja'Cory Harris had his flashes. Brad Kaya was okay. Stephen Morris, but King really, he really can has a way. He can really sling the ball, and this team is Lashley, Brett Lashley, the offensive coordinator, is really gets excited. He was on the sidelines telling him, stay in the game, stay up, keep the pedal to the metal. Don't let up, because in a game like that, when you get way ahead, you kind of want to get complacent. And they just kudos to Miami. Their offense looked pretty flawless. But for the Seminoles, Florida State, it's more of a same old, poor offensive line play. You can't really get anything clicking on offense. You don't really play, good team football. Their defense, kind of looks out of position, looks lost at times. Part of that was Mike Norvell came down with COVID, so he wasn't able to be on the sidelines. But, as you're a Florida State fan, it's the same old is, really getting annoying at this point. And, if you're a Miami fan, though, you're looking ahead to obviously one game at a time, but that Clemson-Miami game is going to be a showdown. I think Miami can compete. I'm not going to say they're going to win, because Clemson is, looked pretty flawless this year too, and Trevor Lawrence looks like he's locked in that offense. But I'm not going to make that prediction now. But I tell you what, Miami's going to have their opportunities to, go toe-to-toe with the reigning ACC champions, and I'm really looking forward to that game in a couple weeks. But, Mississippi State versus LSU, the first thing that stood out to me was, Derek Stingley not playing in the game. Stingley, one of the best corners in college football, if not the best. He, true sophomore, was reportedly out with an illness Friday night that hospitalized him. It was non-COVID related. And, everyone wants to talk about Miles Brennan first start. I thought Miles Brennan, played okay. He had some flashes. You saw his has a decent arm, but like Steve Exlinger, their offensive coordinator, said, this is the strength of their team is running backs now that you have no Jamar Chase. Terrence Marshall played pretty well at receiver, but Chris Curry, John Emery Jr. have some talented running backs, as LSU usually does every year, and it looks like this could be a more of a running team, but for the time being. But I want to see more out of Brennan. They need to limit the turnovers on offense. On defense, they had this. You could tell this was a young defense that was missing a lot of guys due to opt-outs and early draft departures. I think they had, was it 2 or 3 guys from last year's national title team out on the field, and this defense. Yeah, it looked inexperienced, looked young. This is you hope for LSU. Credit to KJ Costello, the transfer Mississippi State quarterback, 600 yards passing, played really, really well. But this is an LSU team that I think will get better. And Mississippi State could be an interesting team to watch in the West. With obviously Costello's not going to throw for 300 yards or 600 yards, every game, but he's going to have them. With a chance to be competitive in a tough West division, and that's obviously a huge start, getting a win over the reigning national champions. But yeah. So Florida, Ole Miss, I want to say, man, Florida and Kyle Trask look phenomenal. Kyle Trask is thing that stands out to me, Florida has got some serious weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Kyle Pitts, arguably the best tight end in football. Him, Brevin Jordan, Freiermuth from Penn State. Pitts 4 touchdowns in this game, just looked almost unstoppable. At one time, the last touchdown was over 2 guys, and Kadarius Toney's a fast playmaker. Copeland's really stepped up. Defensive side of the ball, Bretton Cox and the young Gervin Dexter looked pretty good. Ventrell Miller at linebackers really stood out. They said he's gotten in better shape. He made some big hits, some tackles. Looks like he'll be kind of like that leader of that Florida defense. But kudos to Ole Miss and their offense. Matt Corral, that quarterback, played pretty well, and that receiver Elijah Moore made some big plays. He's a big time playmaker. That one long touchdown run, he had a play where he juked out a couple guys. He's Ole Miss. This is a team that's a work in progress. The defense is obviously not where it's want to be, but under a great offensive mind like Lane Kiffin, this offense is going to score some points this year. I will assure you that. I don't know how many wins it's going to translate to with a poor defense like that. Hopefully they fix some of those mistakes and play better up front, the line of scrimmage. But this is a team that could score points on anyone, and if you go into the game sleepwalking or underestimating this team, they'll put some points on you, and you will likely take a L. But Kyle Trask in Florida, this looks like them and Alabama could be the 2 best teams in the SEC. And Trask is a guy that could just keep improving his draft stock and work his way into a first-round quarterback if he keeps putting up numbers like this. But the Ole Miss defense is poor, and Florida offense is good. So this is one of those things you kind of want to see how Florida does moving forward when they play some better defenses. But I would say Florida and Alabama could be the 2 best teams in the SEC now with LSU going down. But Oklahoma versus Kansas State, Rattler looked pretty good early on, with the exception of the one pick in the first quarter, threw one in the second quarter, but really had moments where he was just slinging it. I mean, he's got a great arm, very accurate. He's not really afraid to throw it in the coverage. That's what got him into some trouble. And Kansas State fought back, being down 35-14. It's those mistakes really came back to haunt Oklahoma, and credit Kansas State, Deuce Vaughn and some of the big plays. This is a team that just never gave up. Since this is a program that under Bill Snyder and then now under Chris Klingman, they are just really compete and just battle, and they're a team that you just don't want to play. And now it's 2 years in a row that Kansas State has upset Oklahoma. But Rattler's going to have he's a young quarterback, only a true sophomore. He's going to have to improve and learn from his mistakes. He's only going to get better. And it's Lincoln Riley. You've had experienced guys the last few years. You got to understand that Rattler's going to make some mistakes, and he's going to have to learn as a youngster, and that the future is still bright for him in this offense. The other good things, you see that Oklahoma still has a lot of playmakers. Stogner at tight end, and Charleston Rambo receiver. You've recruited well on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has collapses at times, but they're with this offense, they can beat anyone in the Big 12. Obviously, it's not a league that defense has been really dominant in, but kudos to good job for Kansas State. Everyone wants to talk about Oklahoma collapsed, but Kansas State made some big plays, the block punt, and Deuce Vaughn big runs, and the interception late to seal it. So give credit to Kansas State. They made plays, and they definitely look like they belong in this game, and then obviously made enough plays to win. So, but so it was an exciting week of college football. Alabama, Missouri, which game to be honest I didn't watch yet, but it sounds like Bama looks pretty dominant, and good things for Mac Jones and the Alabama offense. But yeah, I can't wait for the Clemson-Miami showdown in a couple weeks. That is going to be very exciting. And college football is I'm excited to see some more marquee matchups, and we're going to just talk about have the Big Ten and the Pac-12 to talk about pretty sooner rather than later, coming in October. So, but like what I saw this weekend, this was probably one of my favorite weekends of college football in a while, and it's fun when the Miami Hurricanes are good, and good to see the Florida offense clicking, since being somewhat of a Florida fan over the years, you've seen their offense play porous. But thanks for tuning in this episode of Big Time Football Talk. Make sure to stay tuned for more clips from the show. Till next time, peace.